Have you ever had those typical moments of overthinking where you met someone in the afternoon and you overshare too much, or you feel like you're too loud, or you feel like maybe you're not enough. Maybe you're doing and doing and doing and nothing helps and no one is treasuring that. And you feel like you're not enough, or you feel like you are too much. And I'm mentioning both because I believe, similar to what I have experienced, you have experienced actually both of them, feeling too much and feeling not enough. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. And before we get started, let's start, as always, with a little poem. Born of light, too much, just enough. When your circuits are tired and your heart's been rewired, rejection coded deep, and self-love's on sleep. Have you ever been too much? Or maybe not enough? We're born with code pristine and told, but then they upload doubts, heavy as gold. You're too loud, you overshare, you're not enough, don't you dare. And so we twist, we fold into boxes that hold us captive but cold. Hear this, you are wired just right. Your magnitude burns like fire in the night. You can never say the right thing to the wrong kind of device. And never say the wrong thing to those who walk beside your light twice. So why seek love from mirrors shattered in shame? The wrong eyes will never see your bright flame. Too much for who? Not enough for what? Press pause, Control, Alt, Delete, reboot that rut. You are coded to rise past their lies. Empaths taking the hits, ADHD in the blitz. Under pressure, your heart flickers, but don't let the error stick. You're not a glitch in the system. You're the hacker, the visionary. Rewrite the script. But hashtag boundary necessary. Too much? No. Infinite. Not enough? Divine alignment. Your soul is the code. Customize it, realign it. Feel that tension break like circuits sparking awake. Love thyself first like the scripture spoke. Repeat it. Love is the only stroke that writes the code and clears your path. No conditions, no aftermath. Unconditional starts inside. From there expands wide. So rise, beautiful dream weavers, rise higher, you soul believers. You are not too much, never too small. Your castle in the sky, mountain standing tall. Be the queen of your coat. This life is your plan. Shout it from the heart, I am that I am. You are light, you are fire, not a flicker, but a spire. Rewrite what's chained, lift the veil. Your spirit boundless, let it sail. When your circuits feel tied and your energy's wired, just remember, you were never wrong wired. Too much for the weak, yet strong where you seek. You're enough, always, forming the peak. Let's just let that sink in a little bit. Maybe one more breath. Together. Let's just be here together. Let's be together too much, and let's be together enough. It's great to be too much. It's great to be maybe even not enough. Maybe we're not enough to the wrong people. And this makes me want to start this actually with a share with something that I mentioned to a dear friend last week. And it's one of my favorite things that I keep reminding myself. And this works for anything. You can do this for clients, for friends, for family, for anybody, any form, any kind of relationship that you might have out there. You can never say the right thing to the wrong person. And you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. I know, I'm going to let that sink in. I'm going to repeat it one more time. And then, so if you need to repeat it again, come back to this part. You can never say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can never say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. And once you let that sink in, take into consideration, you never want to surround yourself by people who don't accept you as you are. And with that said, I know we want to the outside world, and maybe we might be faking it out there a little bit, that we don't want to, that we don't want to have the wrong kind of people in our lives. But every now and then there's this one person we're still trying to please, and we still want them to like us. And whatever we do is not working. And, when I just said this, you don't want to have a person in your life that doesn't accept you for who you are. I'm going to give you one hard truth right now, and it might hurt, but that's where we have to start. And that is with yourself. How much do you accept yourself? Accept who you are, the way you are. And this is something that goes for anybody, being empath, being ADHDer, being whatever, Queen of England or King of England at the moment, or president of some place. You can never be, if you want to battle with that feeling of not being good enough, not being, not being good enough, or being too much. Those are two things that are basically some judgment that someone at some point gave you in your life. Someone gave you that thought, gave you that belief. And I'm going to say someone because, there's a whole other discussion that we can have at some other point talking about, what came first. Was it the universe? Was it our souls asking for certain things that we wanted to experience on this planet? That's all things that could happen. But that's a whole discussion for some other point. But, being the cyber witch I am, and maybe if you've seen my newsletters a little bit, and if you saw that I love actually, and I love that AI helped me create that so beautifully, that protocol, the release protocol that we did for the new moon, for the full moon that just happened. I'm going to link it below the video so that you know. But, being that, I like to see our system, especially our brain, to see that part like a computer, right? And our computer is being programmed. When we are born, we come onto this planet having nothing it's like buying a new computer. It has the basics iOS, or if it's a Mac or if it's Windows, it has some form of Windows on it, and it has a basic system on it. But once we are born into this world, from our parents, from family and friends, from other kids in kindergarten, and you going up to school, to, all the steps that we make on those paths, someone, I'm going to say someone, or something, starts programming us with things that we experience, with words, with beliefs, with thoughts that are put into our head, or, like I just said, into our system that is being put into our computer. Right? So the thing is that when we start feeling that we're too much, it's one of those beliefs, because who told you that you're too much? How do you measure someone being too much? Right? If you look behind the being too much, it's because there was maybe someone that just doesn't vibe with you, right? And I know that as ADHDers and actually empath people as well have a big problem with rejection, right? So we have someone that maybe just looked the wrong way, maybe not even said anything, and maybe it wasn't even because of you. Maybe it was some bad thing they ate, right? But they had this look on their face and you saw it and you were like, everything that I just said, maybe you were having a moment of oversharing. And then that person just had one reaction to something. Maybe not, I'm going to put it in there as a question mark. Maybe not even you. Maybe it wasn't even you. They had this weird look on their face and it led you to a spiral to think about, oh my God, maybe I shared too much. Maybe that was too much. Or to take it on the other hand, you're doing your job, you're really leaning into it. You're doing a lot. You're doing overtime, and you're trying your best and you're trying your hardest. And because you're trying so hard, what happens then when we're too much under pressure? That's also another topic that we might talk at some point. But what happens when we're too much under pressure? Of course, things go wrong. And maybe it's not even a big deal. Maybe it's not a big thing. But for you, that one little mistake becomes huge. And you feel like because of that one little mistake, you're not enough. You're not good enough because of that. And that's so hard. And that's the kind of programming that I'm talking about that happens throughout our whole life. The problem is when these things become too much. When these kind of feelings are intertwined with anxiety, we get anxious because we feel like no matter what we do, it's going to be wrong. And with that, we might even start being depressed because of it, because we're feeling not enough, because we're feeling the way we are, we're not good enough. I believe we're amazing. I believe we are. I believe that any human being is amazing. The only thing is that we try so hard to be someone that we're actually not. And that's when things go wrong. But the more we learn to become authentically ourselves, because all of us are born with this wonderful computer that is wonderfully new and perfect, and it has everything it needs. But because we're born as humans into this earth, into this planet, of course, we bring in some tasks that we want to put in there on our computers as well. And that's why we choose the different kinds of, ancestral families that we want to choose, that we want to be in, for both reasons, for the good stuff and the bad stuff, right? So we want to experience something. And then we get to this point, like today, where you're here listening to this podcast, hopefully saying, wow, May, you're right. I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to feel wrong. I don't want to feel like something's wrong with me. That's one of the reasons why I fight for us as empaths and us as ADHDers not to be put on this, it's a sickness, it's an illness. No, we're not. It's not an illness. It's a description of a form of a person, of a human. Of course, please, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. If you feel like you are that, please, of course, go and get help. if you feel like that you need that help. But maybe you're one of those that say, no, I want to try myself. So why don't you try for now, or take this question with you for this week, for today? What can you do to accept yourself more? Because those thoughts that you're not good enough and that you're too much are part of a belief system that keeps you going down, that you're not good enough, that you are not. The more you change that, the more you shift that, or to putting it in computer terms, the more you reprogram that into a different direction, the more you are going to become more authentically yourself. And I know there's a lot of, and especially, I know the empaths definitely, and I know some ADHDers are a little bit like that. There's this moral high, I'm going to call it the moral high ground. I hope I'm saying it right. You know, that moral high ground where you're like, yeah, but no, I can't be bragging how good I am. You know, how can I brag about how good I am? And I know that's the tipping point because we don't want to go overboard. And of course, we don't want to go somewhere where we don't believe. Our system needs to believe what we're doing, right? Whenever we try to transform and make changes, we need to believe in those things, right? So always make one little step after the other. Only go as far as you can for today. You don't have to be, on that scale. You don't want to go overboard and say, oh my God, I'm the greatest of them all. No. It's enough when you feel like you are fine with yourself, that you're in harmony with yourself, that you're aligned with yourself, your soul, your mind, and your heart, and your body, all of it, it's aligned and in a harmonious way. You are living your true self. And the closer we get to that, the closer you're going to get to that perfect being. And that perfect being won't brag. So don't be afraid of becoming that bragging person. No, don't. We do that way too little. And if you start practicing for yourself, you're going to see that change. You're going to see how you change for yourself, how you accept yourself more. For me, it was, if you look at the 7 principles of the Huna philosophy, it was the one that is said, aloha. Aloha being, of course, for those of you who might not know, aloha means love, divine love in Hawaiian. And aloha, as one of the 7 principles of the Huna philosophy, means or wants to remind us that love is unconditional. And I remember when I learned those principles, and, it talked about how aloha wants to remind us that we're all, love has no condition. And, you don't want to set conditions to love for anything or anybody. And I remember reading that principle and going like, yeah. And the one thing you have to work on is your self-love, making that unconditional. Stop saying that you're only going to be good enough once you learn this and do that and da. No, because that's a condition. You come from pure love, from the divine love, from aloha. You're from that. Your soul came from that. And your soul at one point is going to go back there. And until then, it's experiencing itself here on this plane. I remember one of my teachers always saying, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. So in this human experience, you're allowed to make changes, and you're allowed to make that change from a very judgmental love and conditioned love to changing that to an unconditional love. And the only way you're going to be able to have unconditional love for others is by having unconditional love for yourself. We're never going to be there if we don't do it for ourselves first. And I know this is weird, but I'm quoting from the Bible. Love thy neighbor as yourself. I hope I translated it right. But this means that You're supposed to love your neighbor as you do yourself. So you have to start by loving yourself first before you do anybody else. And when we hear that we are too much and we are not enough, that's a thing where you're allowed to take a moment to hear, to feel that for yourself, because I bet 100%, or well, maybe not 100%, because I believe there's a couple of grumpy people out there. But most of the time, it's not somebody telling you that you're not enough or that you're too much. It's actually the only person that will probably be telling you is yourself. So why not embrace that voice within yourself? And I know that feels a little bit weird, but once you embrace that voice and start showing that person or that being that keeps telling you this, that there's another path and that there is love and there is a way. And if you want to know how, start reflecting for yourself. Ask yourself, like, what can I do to create more unconditional love for myself? What can I do to accept myself unconditionally as the person I am? And some of you are going to go, yeah, May, but I have those bad habits and I'm doing those bad things and I need to, I need to change those things. And I'm not, I want to try, but I can't do it. Change the narrative. There's a reason, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it, but one of the things that I've learned on my path is ho'oponopono keala. And my Hawaiian teacher that taught me this said, ho'oponopono keala is the path. And ho'oponopono means make perfect more perfect. So see yourself where you are. You're perfect where you are right now. Start with that. And from that, you can start making the changes. But it starts by accepting and embracing the person who you are. So if you're taking away one thing, and that's the last thing that I'm telling you for today, because I don't want I've already made it too long. For today is give yourself some grace. I love this term. I don't like the translations there are for German or Spanish. I love how it is used in the English language. Give yourself some grace. It's something that we all should give ourselves, especially in these moments. You are a human. Again, like I said, you are a spiritual being on a human experience. And this experience is here to support you to overcome things so that you can get to know yourself even better. And you start by embracing the person you are today. And trust me, because I've been through that over and over many times. The more you do that, the closer you're going to get. The closer you're going to get to being your authentic self, living your truth, and living a wonderful and amazing life. All right, so I won't make it too long. My beautiful ones, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you can had some great takeaways. Let me know in the comments if you had any, and if you enjoyed today's episode as well. And before I let you go, I'm going to leave you with another song created with AI that came from the poem and from today's episode. I'm going to leave you with that. In case you want to, I'm also adding my newest music album below that I hope will help you, give you some beautiful insights, give you some strength and happiness, and support you. I've created those songs with the help of AI because I want to support you on your path. So it will help you on different kinds of things. Just check out the album if you'd like to. It's a little bit fun because I don't like I do like them for certain moments, and we're probably going to do another album like that as well. But for now, this is a happy one to support you to stand in your power. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. With that said, my beautiful souls, my beautiful dream weavers, I wish you have a wonderful week. Have a blessed week. And may you keep on being magical And most of all, give yourself some grace. Enjoy the song. Bye.
Feel that sun on your skin, feel that breeze coming in. We're rising, rising higher. No limits, no denial. When they say it's too much, but all I see is a light that won't stop, shining like the sunrise, breaking the sky. You're stronger than you even realize. You're not a glitch, you're electric flow. Vibes in sync with the ocean's glow. Keep going, keep following your beat. You're alive, don't you feel this heat? 'Cause you were made for the rhythm, love. Made to rise like the waves above. You're enough just as you are, love. Shining brighter like a summer star. Fire in your soul, it's sparking, can't you feel it? This is your dance, your time to heal it. You're enough, you're more than enough. Feel the rhythm, let the worries wash off. Raise your hands high, feel your heart rise. You're the light, you are everything alive. Isn't time to break free. Feel the wind calling from the white sea. You're untamed, wild and true. Let the world move with you, not against you. Every moment that you're writing your code. No limit now, let the energy flow. So rise up, let the music carry. Life's too short to stay ordinary. Step into the sun, feel the warmth inside. You're a tidal wave, babe, let it ride. 'Cause you were born with the blueprint in your soul, and now it's time to let it all unfold. You're enough just as you are, love. Shining brighter like a summer star. Fire in your soul, it's sparking, can't you feel it? This is your dance, your time to heal it. You're enough, you're more than enough. Feel the rhythm, let the worries wash off. Raise your hands high, feel your heart rise. You're the light, you are everything alive. Let the waves take you higher. Feel the pulse of desire. Sink into that ocean blue, it's all inside of you. Oh, sunshine won't leave your side. You're the fire, burn bright tonight. Let them say too much if they want to, but baby, you know the truth. You're enough just as you are, love. Shining brighter like a summer star. Fire in your soul, it's sparking, don't you feel it? This is your dance, your time to heal it. You're enough, you're more than enough. Feel the rhythm, let the worries wash off. Raise your hands high, feel your heart rise. You're the light, you are everything alive. Keep shining, keep glowing. Palm trees sway and smiles knowing. As the waves kiss the shore, just remember, babe, you're more. You've always been enough. Just as you are, you're enough. Keep the fire flowing, keep your strength growing. You're enough, you've always been alive.